messed up, no. Bad news, fit to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaselina like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang-Chi. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them U.P.K rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. He ain't locked in with the count, and with the speaking to me far. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. Can't do with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole start. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made it call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks and native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun die or die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We was slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you live there. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. U.P.K undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard and they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi why he give them babies herpes. I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, that's what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Like, he got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them, which say they are Jews and are not. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone west.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahshai Brakatam to all the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Latam, Ba'ashem, Yahshai to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yahweh of the I.S.U.P.K. Started out on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant John YAHANNA. You understand? And just like every Thursday, we have the Brotherhood class, right, where we learn how to love each other, love one another, right? When I say we, I'm talking about so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the real biblical Jews of antiquity, as well as how to conduct ourselves towards one another. Not only that, but we learn also who should we love and who should we not love. In a sense where, you know, after slavery, it's damn near like we were hypnotized. Or for those who've seen the movie, what's it called again? What's that movie again? The movie where you get in a sunken place when the woman, you know, she stirs the tea and knock it with a spoon. We're in a sunken place. We've been hypnotized like this Hamite who plays the role of a brother in the movie, right? Get Out. That's what it is. We're like our people in a similar situation as that Hamite who plays the role of a brother in the movie Get Out. We're in a sunken place where we're damn near oblivious to the people who put us in a certain condition. It's damn near like we cannot see the perpetrator of the crimes that are committed against us. You understand? Not only can we not see it, when we do, we refuse to believe it. That's all biblical, by the way. These are all biblical prophecies that in the Bible say would happen, right? The thing is that people think the Bible is either a white man's book or a fairy tale. When you look into it, you find out everything that's in the Bible is real. From Genesis to Revelation, from the condition that we're in to the condition that we will be in. Salakia. The thing that we need to understand is, like Hosea chapter 4 and 6 says, right, that our people is lost for lack of knowledge because we reject the knowledge. We refuse to accept reality for what it is. Reality is you are an oppressed people that is fighting tooth and nail, blood, sweat, and tears to be accepted by its oppressor, to be on the same level as its oppressor, thinking in your head that you will be able to reach the level of your oppressor. It's not even but you don't see it the way your oppressor sees it, right? If you think you have to climb to the level of your oppressor, two things happen in their mind. Either they have to stay at the same spot they're at so you can reach their level, or they have to stoop down to the level of the people they oppress. They don't want to do neither. Why should they? Why would they? There's a bad misconception that we're all humans. We all bleed red. The reality of it is dogs bleed red too. Whales bleed red too. You are not a whale. You are not a fox. Fox bleed red. Lizards bleed red. You're not a reptilian. You understand? Even amongst what people will consider the human race, there's divisiveness. There is always going to be division. The heathens are even divided amongst themselves. You think all the Africans are gathered together under the same roof? If one people has in-house issues, what makes you think that you'll be able to, walk hand in hand with the people that don't even get along with themselves? And I'm not even necessarily talking about those disgusting Hamites, but you're trying to get accepted or get compassion or get, be recognized or be acknowledged by the most despised people on the face of the earth. The thing is that as a people who reject the knowledge that they are the chosen people of this book, they are the Israelites, right? You can see how just rejecting that knowledge is a sign of mental illness. Rejecting your identity is a sign of mental illness. That's what you don't understand. It's like me saying, after being, traumatized so much into thinking that, for lack of better words, into thinking that I am not black, I live my life today and teach my children, you know what? You are not black. You are whatever they call it today. You are a melanated person or whatever nonsense people say today, right? But you are not a Negro. You are a, you know what? Forget about the melanated person, right? Imagine growing up saying you are a non-leucistic person your whole life. The moment you tell, well, actually, you're black. No, I'm not black. I am non-leucistic. You understand? Or whatever nonsense. This is us today. We've been told that, we're so-called blacks, we're so-called Latinos, we're so-called Native American Indians. Really, we are the biblical Jews of antiquity. We are the real Jews the Bible speaks of. We are the 12 tribes of Israel, the Israelites. Knowing that, we would understand that this book is not a religious book. What you call the Bible is are records compiled together, historical records of a people. And out of all nations upon the face of the earth, you are the only people who reject their historical record and who accept whatever their oppressor made up for them. For so long, you accepted the fact that, well, you were taken out of the west coast of Africa, so you must be African. The Africans say you're not the same people. They're apologizing for slavery. From Nigeria to Ghana, what's all the other nation again? I think it's Gabon, Benin. That's the one. It's in other countries are starting to apologize for their role in slavery, knowing that they can't hide the truth. You understand? You are told that, well, you're Moor. Moor is not even a specific nation. You're told you're so-called Native American. When did the Native American ever call themselves Native Americans? You're told you're a Latino. Latino just means you're from a Latin speaking country or from Latino America. That's it. But you go with what you're told you are without knowing even your identity. You rely on other people to tell you who you are. Imagine now telling Caucasians, well, you're not a so-called Caucasian, man. You are, I don't know, you are a translucent person or whatever the case is. Now, who are you to tell the people who they are if they know their history and they have their records? The only reason that you allow people to tell you who you are and believe it and roll with it, because you have been robbed of your records. You have been robbed of your history. You have been robbed of the knowledge of self. Well, this is why it's important to come to these classes, because the I.S.U.P.K is here to give you back the identity. You understand? It's giving back your identity that you were robbed of. You're being deprived of till this day. Anyone could be an Israelite today. Good night. The purple sodomites, the gay church, Salakia, the rainbow flag church called the IUIC. They go all around the globe saying East Indians are Israelites. Tomorrow, don't be surprised. The Chinese is Israelites. All the Africans are Israelites. I think one of these fake Israelite churches, GOCC or whatever their name is, saying some white people can be Israelites. You could be a spiritual Israelites. Guess what? You are the only people who is deprived from identifying as an Israelite, which should be further proof that you are the real biblical Jews the Bible speaks of. Because as you get into it, right, because it's not a religious book, again, as you get into the historical record, which is the Bible, going for an example in the book of the Maccabees, under Greek captivity, we were forbidden from identifying as Israelites. This is why the New Testament, Paul, a great example, is a Roman. Not that he's a indigenous Roman from Rome, but he is a Roman citizen. At that time, it was illegal for us to say, you know what, I'm an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. Good night. I'm a Benjamite. It was illegal for you to say, I'm a Judite. Just like for you today, it is damn near forbidden for you to say, I'm an Israelite. I'm a real Jew by blood. Why is it relevant? Again, knowing who we are is so important, because we will know how to conduct ourselves according to our records. The Bible is not just a historical record. It's our culture, meaning there's more to it than just the history of the Israelites. You're going to see not only our history, but how we conducted ourselves, whether it's as an individual, as a nation, towards one another, men, women, and children. Which comes to the topic of the class, right? Shalom, sir. We'll send you the link right now. The one, Salakia. The topic of the class is they hunt our steps. Because we've been so beguiled into thinking we are the world, we are the children, listening to Michael Jackson and all that nonsense. We're all human race. We all bleed red. We think we're all equal. And we think it's just other people have been brainwashed into thinking, you know what, they're superior. Every single nation thinks they're superior to the rest. The Arabs thinks they're the best. The Asian think they're the best. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong thinking that your family is the best. Ain't nothing wrong thinking your team is the best. The problem is that you don't think your team is the best. You don't think your family is the best, because you're told that you're even worse than a second-class citizen. And that's the problem. And because you can't, because you think other teams are the best, you can't realize that the team that you think is the best is your opponent. It's hard for you to fathom that you have enemies, you have opponents. It's hard for you to understand that there's a people coming against you. There's more than one people, really. But the point is that you refuse to see reality for what it is. And that, as we brought down in these multiple classes, this is a concept called the concept of insanity. Well, you believe something that is not real, like equality. You understand? And you refuse reality where nobody's equal. One thing you need to understand is that we'll get into that real quick and get into some articles where nothing has ever changed. What? The times have changed because you got a computer, you got a cell phone, you got a car. Nothing has ever changed. Our condition is the same as 100 years ago. 100 years ago, we used to be killed by law enforcement. We used to be deported. Label all types of names. It's the same today. Ain't no different than a couple, than 50 years ago, than 100 years ago, than 200 years ago. Ain't no different. You're still a slave, and you are still a prey. And all these heathen nations are your predators. But amongst those predators, there's always an apex predator. I mean, a predator who doesn't have predators. A predator who can prey on other predators and on the same prey as these other predators. That predator, that apex predator, is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. The most subtle beast of the garden. You understand? Yahweh Shema Atah, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Shalom, Shalak, Yahweh Shebrakatah, for tuning in. So let's go into a couple articles real quick, and then we're going to bring up some precepts, yeah? Let's go into this recent article that happened in Montreal. Let me share my screen. What was it? The week, literally. Listen, Passover was what, 2 weeks ago? That week, Atlanta, everywhere there was a priest, a prophet of the Most High. This was the safe place for every single Black, Latino, and Native American Indians across the globe, was in Atlanta the week of the Passover. You understand? And right before Passover, unfortunately, a brother, if I'm not mistaken, he's from the tribe of Zebulon, was unalived by law enforcement in the city of Montreal. We'll get to it real quick. It says, family of men who died after Montreal police intervention calls for public coroner's inquiry. Why? Because why that the family has to inquire to the public coroner? The thing is that barely anyone knows about it. People are starting to know about it. Why? Because it started to go viral. You understand? Mosai and Christ, it started to go viral because one of the persons who filmed the whole incident, who was a devil, right? The police came to her door, asked for the cell phone, asked for the video to provide to the Bureau of Internal Investigation, right? They didn't send nothing to the Bureau of Internal Investigation. They erased the video to protect themselves, obviously. You understand? The thing is, the Mosai is not going to allow that ever again to happen. Since, what is it? What was the brother got beat up in California under the cameras? Rodney King. The days of Caucasian being able to hide or to shrug anything under the to hide anything and put it under the rug from the eyes of the public is over. It's been over. Right? Is what you have to understand. Knowing that we are the Israelites, we will know certain things, such as not to trust our enemies. Who are our enemies? To avoid these people. To, instead of having to call one of the most murderous criminal organization, which is law enforcement, because that brother had some type of episode. If they knew who to call, they would have called Officer Adiyar in the city of Montreal. You understand? And we would have dealt with that, and that brother would have still been alive. Let's read it. The family of Abisai Cruz, a 29-year-old Montreal man who died after a police intervention turned violent, is speaking out, demanding a public coroner's inquiry. He was in crisis and needed help, said Josue, the victim's brother. The victim was unalived right in front of his brother. Imagine seeing your brother being beaten to death by police and you can't do nothing. You know how horrific that sight is? And I'm gonna pull a quick clip of Instagram where an ex-police officer is basically breaking down what went wrong the moment the police tackled the brother, right? I'm gonna try to zoom in a bit on the article. So lock it. He's gonna break down what went wrong and how that should have never happened. Even though that's what he might say, we know already it is most likely always gonna happen because of their nature. is not something they can help. Besides the biblical aspect of it, and that's their nature, he's going to break down on how officers really don't care about the rules and regulations. They're men like any other man. When they tackle you, and adrenaline is rushing, they're men with testosterone. If it gets physical, it's not about, following protocol at this point. Listen, if I have to wrestle you to the ground and take the breath out of you, I will. That's what he's going to break down. Salakia, let me keep reading a bit more. Instead of receiving support and protection, he was violently assaulted, handcuffed, and abused by 4 police officers. His death is completely unjustifiable and unacceptable. Y'all can watch the video. One of the clips about his death is posted on I.S.U.P.K Montreal TikTok page. You see how there's 3-4 police officers on top of him. And if you understand, if you just have common sense, someone who's tackled to the ground should be put in a certain position, right, where they're able to breathe. They kept the brother flat on his stomach as they tackled him to the ground. One of them, apparently, the devil who filmed the whole ordeal, said he got kicked in the stomach. If you ever receive some type of hit in the gut, you know that you run out of breath damn near instantly. And as he's running out of breath, he's put face flat on his stomach on the ground. Now, how is he supposed to breathe when he's trying to bring air into his lungs or his diaphragm? He can't, because the ground is restricting him. That's why he should be put to his side as opposed to on his stomach, right? Quebec's police watchdog, the Bureau BEI, which is the Bureau des Enquêtes Indépendantes, this is the Internal Investigation Bureau in Montreal, said Montreal police responded to a 911 call on March 30th about a person in crisis. Officers arrived a few minutes later and an altercation occurred between them and the man at the scene. And officers eventually restrained him. What they don't tell you is that they seen him, he was in a crisis. You know how many white people are in a crisis, brandishing weapons, and are still alive today? When a police officer responds to a crisis of a so-called Black, Latino, Native American, Indian man, in his mind, it's not about the well-being of the person in the crisis. They don't even want to deal with that. The police in Montreal is so corrupted, they have better things to do in their mind. They have people to set up, drugs to plant on innocent people, whatever neighborhood they're at, Montreal North, Uptown, NDG. They don't want to respond to a crisis. They have to deal with it expeditiously, right? With the quickness. It's not about the well-being of the person. Let's restrain him and deal with it and put him in the car. No, the way they restrain him, they tackled him. They kicked him in the gut. He's trying to get back up. He's put to the ground, right? I'm going to pull the video right now of the police officer breaking down like how is, what went wrong in this ordeal, right? You need to understand this. This apex predator is not looking at you like, you know what? I'm patrolling my area like the apex predator that I am. And I'm responding to whatever is going on. No, he's seeing the prey that he don't want to deal with. He don't want to have to deal with you, right? We're living, I don't know, for some there who have kids or younger siblings, there's a movie called Zootopia, right? Where prey and predators live amongst each other in peace and harmony. And you think you're in that same made up cartoon. It's not real. It's a cartoon. The problem is when reality sets in, incidents like that happen. We're a prey to these apex predators, right? But let me pull two scriptures real quick for you to understand that the reason why, listen, it went viral and also the condition that we're in, right? Let's go real quick before I pull up the video. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 8. 2nd Ezra 15 and 8 says what? I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. Listen, the Most High is never going to let that happen where they're able to sweep this under the rug and nobody knows about it, right? Ever again. This is ever since Rodney King. This is not happening. There's cameras everywhere. They should have had body cams. They didn't have body cams. Not every officer in the city of Montreal have body cams, right? But that doesn't matter to the Most High. This is going to go viral. This is going to be witnessed. This is not going to be swept under the rug and nobody's going to know about it. Everyone will know about it, as they should. You understand? 2 Ezra 15:8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Listen, y'all need to understand something, right? For you to be able to hide the crimes that you're committing, it's over with. Everybody knows that white people are evil. Everybody knows the police is one of the biggest criminal organization on the face of the earth that justifies themselves under whatever law they make up. It's not a secret. Police brutality is not a secret. Victims of police brutality across the globe is not a secret. You think it only happens in so-called America and so-called United States? This is not the first instance where a brother loses his life at the hands of the city of Montreal, let alone Canada. You understand? That then happened next to the area where another Hispanic brother, Villanueva, he was shot by the cops. In my area, next to I live 10 minutes away from my high school, where a brother was shot by the police as well, who was also having a crisis. Another brother, this one also went viral. The only reason people know about it because it went viral on one of the biggest platforms, which is YouTube. He was shot 5 minutes from where I live because of another crisis. Now, I could go on any platform, look up Caucasian people in a crisis with weapons. They're alive. Listen, white people without a crisis. What's the name of that devil with a bowl cut? Dylan Roof shot up a whole church. He was sane. He was operating with a sane mind. You know what they did? They handcuffed him and they took him to McDonald's or Burger King. That's how white people are treated. You know, you know what? We're not gonna unalive one of ours. He could be my son. He could be my nephew. You need to understand how nations view their peers. It could be their own family. You could never be the family of a Caucasian man. You are not the same people. You are not the same bloodline, in a sense where you are two different people from you came out the womb. That's in Genesis. They're never going to see you as, you know what, I might try to have compassion on him. You might find one Caucasian man that, damn, I have to save a life. And he saved a life. And then now you think, well, all white people ain't bad because a white man saved my life. You know who said that? Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne said he shot himself in the heart. He said, Uncle Bob saved my life. That's it. And for him, it was like an epiphany. A 9-year-old, he had an epiphany. Well, racism doesn't exist. Yeah, ask Uncle Bob how many niggas he shot in Louisiana. Ask Uncle Bob how many niggas he shot in Holly Grove. Ask Uncle Bob if the police department of Louisiana in Holly Grove, in Baton Rouge, ask Uncle Bob if these are not racist police officers. Louisiana is one of the most racist states in America. You know how many sundown town there still is down south? They're still getting lynched in Louisiana, talking about there's no racism over there. The problem is our brothers and sisters are so lost. But the time where white people are able to sweep everything under the rug and make it seem like it never happened, it was just, you know, a mistake. Someone may not have been too familiar with the protocol. That's over with. There's no protocol when it comes to a predator unaliving a prey. There's no protocol. You understand? Let me finish the verse. Salakia. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me. Oh, yeah. the Most High will render vengeance because his brother was unalived by a devil. And this cat had the audacity to look at the camera that was filming him in the eye. He was looking straight at the lens, made eye contact. You understand? And still proceeded to unalive him. By the time they got him up and he stopped beating him, his face was all purple. You could tell the devil that was filming, like, damn, yeah, I could tell he's dead. Like, even I could tell. The blood, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me. We are the innocent and righteous that is talking about, right? That's talking about us. That's talking about, what's the brother name again? He was jogging in Atlanta and they shot him for no goddamn reason. All these innocents that were in the church that Dylan Roof sprayed with his gun. Good night. What's the name of the other devil? He went to a black neighborhood. I forgot to bring that out. That's perfect on the topic of the class, because they literally hunt us. Like they go deer hunting. This man scoped out a black neighborhood in Buffalo, New York. Chose a neighborhood with virtually no Caucasian people. He scoped it out for months until he went to spray the grocery store over there. You know why this happens? Because we don't know who we are. We don't know the rules that we should abide by, such as not trusting our enemy. We should damn near profile white people like they're profiling us. The same way they profile black people and stop and frisk you just because of how you look and you're suspicious. They should be suspicious to us. Like how this white boy with a bowl cut goes to a black church. How does that make sense? And when a tragedy happens, people say, well, there's evil in everybody. We forgive him. It did nothing rang a bell. This is the problem with our people. We don't see reality for what it is. Matter of fact, when we do, we reject it. We refuse to see it for what it is. But let me finish this verse real quick, right? And the souls of the just complain continually. We complain continually, saying no justice, no peace every day. There's a whole goddamn movement called Black Lives Matter, as if we had to remind people that Black Lives Matter. When you did, they say, well, we know because all lives matter. If you knew, why do we have to remind y'all that Black and brown lives matter? Why do we have to remind y'all to stop kidnapping and murdering indigenous women? Why do we have to remind y'all these things? Because really, y'all don't give a damn. Really, Black lives do not matter. Brown lives do not matter. Indigenous lives do not matter. That's the truth of it. If they did, we wouldn't have to say Black lives matter, brown lives matter, indigenous lives matter. We wouldn't have to say that. The reason why we have to say is because they don't matter. We go to verse 9. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 9. And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Listen, that brother will be avenged. Listen, you know what's crazy? We just had a horrible thunderstorm. Trees fell off. I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, a devil was trapped under a tree, and people are fearing for his life. And if that's a heathen, that's confirmed as a heathen. Well, most high in Christ. And it's only the beginning. It's not over. You understand? Trees fell off. Good night. You think you weren't safe in the car. The cars were being pushed by the winds. You had a terrific thunderstorm. And that was the Lord. The Lord will avenge the innocent blood. He will avenge Emmett Till, who was beaten to a pulp. Even after he was beaten, he was shot. He was good night. Have you seen the face of Emmett Till? And this is the people who you choose to still try and strive to be accepted by? This is the people you want to walk hand in hand with? The Most High doesn't care about how you think. What the Lord said? 2nd Ezra 15 and 9. And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them. Most I don't care that you have a white best friend. Most I don't care that you're married to an Arab. Most I don't care that you think, well, you know what, let's unite with African thing and the Asians and whatever the case is. God said he's going to punish all the heathens. They're not going to get what they get on the continent of flies and bushmeat. They sold you. They literally ate you too. They're going to get it too. It's not about white people. Again, you are a prey and these nations are predators. The only thing with these Caucasians is that out of all these predators that you have preying on you, they are the apex predator, meaning they don't have any predators, right? They're good night. Hey, no pun intended. They are the great white shark. That's what they are. They are the great white shark. Some great white sharks eat other sharks. You understand? And you're that lawful fish that's just swimming around the sharks thinking, you know what? I can live among the sharks until they just turn around and eat you whenever they feel like it. That's really what it is. You may have grew up with another shark your whole life. You think God cares? God say, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. That's what the Most High said. The hell is what you think. The hell walking hand in hand with the oppressor, thinking, you know what, this is how you cure racism. How can you cure racism? You can't cure something that God made. You can't get rid of something that God made. God made it so. God himself is a racist. How are you going to cure God's racism? Tell me that. God said he only loves one and one nation only. You don't give a damn about the rest. How you gonna change his mind now? This is a cut to everyone that said the God of the Bible and the God of Islam is the same, the one and only. No. The God of the Bible said, I only know Israel out of all the families on the earth. That's what Amos 3 and 2. Islam is just Arab Christianity. It's for everybody. You understand? Let me show you real quick before I get... I'm going to show you before I play this video. Let me get that precept. Let's go to... I wanted to go to Amos, but now I'm going to go to Joel. Because Joel itself is a straight cut to say that they're the same God and it's for everybody. It's not for everybody. You understand? Let's go to Joel chapter 2, verse 27. And Joel chapter 2 verse 27 says what? And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God. First of all, it should be self-explanatory. Every time he's speaking about the nation of Israel, the Most High say, I'm the Lord thy God, your God. It's a possessive adjective, meaning the Most High is our God and we are his people. No one else. Let's keep reading. And none else. It doesn't get more self-explanatory than that. God of the Bible is only the God of the children of Israel and no one else. That's Joel chapter 2, verse 27. And my people shall never be ashamed. Right? It's that simple. The Most High don't give a damn about, he's the God. You claim for him. You're claiming a people. You're telling God to claim a people that he doesn't claim. Imagine that. It's like, imagine you go to your homie like, yo, he's your homie too because I want him to be your homie. Nigga say, I don't know you. Yeah, that's God. When you bring him white people, he say, I don't know them. You bring him Africans, he say, I don't know them. Bring him all the Asians who claim to be the smartest and benefit, what the technology or whatever the case is. Hey, God, these are smart people. They do kung fu and I like anime. The Most I look at you like, I don't know them. You're a bug out. God only knows the children of Israel. He's only the God of the children of Israel and no one else. Now, real quick, let's play that video of that police officer trying to explain how this incident, went wrong. Let me see. Let me turn up the sound. So this one is in French, but I'm gonna have to translate it for y'all. It's about like 30 seconds.
Procédure de la police quand il y a un appel comme ça qui arrive en général.
Le but avec le char de police, c'est d'arriver le premier sur les lieux. On roule plus vite que les autres Parce que c'est nous autres qui veut se battre. C'est ça.
C'est toujours demain, ouais.
So real quick, I'm going to pause it right here. What this police officer is saying, right, the bald guy, he's interviewed by two brothers. He's saying, our goal is to be there before anyone else. If you know when you place a 911 call, when it's for an emergency like that, the first responders is not the police officers, right? So you might call for an ambulance, the fire truck might be there first. They're all trained as first responders, right? They're trained to do CPR, some basic training. They'll be here before the ambulance like that. If they get here before the ambulance, they can perform CPR if needed be, while they wait for the ambulance. The police officer said, listen, our job is to be there first. We want to fight. That's literally what he said. He said, we have to be there first. We want to fight. That's the first thing he said. Don't think you're going to call for police for help. And, especially when there's a crisis, they hear Latino men in crisis, Black men in crisis, Native in crisis. They hear that. It's like, have you ever seen, I don't know for who has a pet. I have a dog. Her name is Ruby. She's fine. She walks all right. Whenever she sees a critter, she sees a squirrel, she sees a cat, she sees a raccoon, something lights up in her eyes and she goes. If you think Ruby pulls hard as a Rottweiler, imagine when you put a prey animal in front of her. You understand? She damn near goes goddamn berserk, Super Saiyan. Right? It's the same concept for them. They hear Black men in crisis, something lights up in their head like, we have one. Oh, action, especially if there's nothing going on throughout the day. Some action, finally. Just like an animal who sees a prey item after, because not all predators eat every day, right? Some of them, they start salivating. The lion sees a gazelle, especially during a drought, they see a gazelle or a wildebeest like, damn, good night, it's on. So lucky, we have Austin Matabar in the back. Shalom, so Yahweh Shabakatah.
What's going on with your priest?
Everything to Wab. You already know what it is, sir. The water for being here as well. Of course, if you want to chime in anytime, out of one.
God, ain't no sweat.
But basically, like I was telling you, right? The police officer is saying, listen, they get a call. The first thing they have to do is be there first because they want to fight. You understand? A shark smells blood in the water. He's not trying to speculate. Should I go? Should I not go? It lights up. They can smell blood from a mile away, one drop of blood from a mile away in the whole ocean. They're going to come for you. You hear Black men in crisis. Whether they have a weapon or not is irrelevant. It's an issue with a Black, Latino, Native man. Again, it's like a predator who hasn't eaten in a couple days, especially during the drought. Something lights up and they rush over there. They make sure they're there to fight. That's what he said.
Noter, là, c'est fini l'action. Là, tu peux te promener comme un chauffeur de taxi à l'arrière de ton genre.
So he's saying, when they get here, the moment they have you in handcuffs, it's supposed to be over. Then you could ride around like, in a taxi around the city. The action's over. It's done. We put him in handcuffs. Boom. That's how it's supposed to end. Technically. Right?
T'as manqué l'action. Ouais.
Ça leur fait même chier,
non, ils ont du faux mot. Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing.
There's a term called fear of missing out. Right? That's why they'll tackle you at 10 because they want to be part of that action. They don't want to be on the side like looking like, you know what, there's enough officers on him. He's restrained. 2 officers is enough. No, they have the fear of missing out. They want to be part of like, you know what? I was there too. Guess what? Hey, guess what, Brian? What's going on, Roger? Well, my knee was the knee that choked him out. What's the name of that officer that killed George Floyd? Derek Chauvin? You think Derek was not? You think they don't brag about this shit? They're brag like, yo, listen. Not only was my knee the one that choked him out, there's a picture of me, and I'm looking right at the lens. You think they don't do that? Listen, you'd be surprised. Officers have been suspended throughout the Americas and Canada for having secret group chats bragging about the things they do to Black, Latinos, and Native American Indians. It's not speculations. It happens. They have the fear of missing out. They say we need to be there first. We need to fight. And they have a fear of missing out. Usually, listen, they tackle you. They put you in handcuffs. You're in the back of the car. That's it. That's how it ends. That's how it's supposed to end. Then they could drive around the city in their police car, you know, go through red lights as they always do, right? Arrest someone else or plant drugs on someone else. That's what the police do all the time. But no, they have to be like, yo, listen, I'm gonna be a part of this. I'm gonna be, my knee's gonna be the one choking him out. Listen, my bullet is gonna be the one piercing through his lungs. I'm gonna be the first one says, freeze, motherfucker, I shoot. I need to be that guy. I need to be the first one that yells freeze to that nigga, that spicker, that savage. That's their mindset. Because of the fear of, listen, they have more fear of missing out than they have their fear for their life. Fear for their life is just an excuse. You think they don't fear for their life when there's a white man brandishing like a knife, a sword, or a firearm at them? White men are known to disarm the police. They take tasers like it's a snowflake, not even during a blizzard. They don't give a damn. So, like, sir, you want to say something?
I'm right. What you're saying is heavy because they don't come on the scene to protect you. When they come on the scene, they look at you like a suspect. Regardless if you call them or not. In their mind, you a suspect. You the criminal, and you didn't call them for help. But in their mind, you still the suspect, the perpetrator. You the criminal. So whatever movement you make or whatever you do, they quick to draw their gun and gun you down. They quick to unalive you. They don't make it feel like you safe in these communities. They oppress you in the communities. That's what they do. They ain't there to protect you. They there to protect their own oppressor property or whatever happens. But you got it.
Khan, absolutely. And just to add on what Officer 5000 Matabar just said, right? Not even to mention that he's a great example on the example I gave on Lil Wayne, because Officer Matabar is in Louisiana. Imagine, Salakis, if you could confirm that, as you yourself is from there, how racist the police down there is, because Lil Wayne believes there's no racism because Uncle Bob saved him when he shot himself in the chest.
They the same way they've been since we've been here. It ain't changed up. So what he talking about is nonsense. He ain't went through the racism because he out the way of the police. He ain't in the hood. He living good.
Good night.
We get oppressed out here. The police pull you over in the rain and everything. I done been pulled over. I'm 14, been pulled over in the rain, get on the car. And I'm just walking through the neighborhood. But I so happen to be in an oppressive neighborhood, walking through their neighborhood to get by, get on the car. It's pouring down raining. I ain't doing nothing. They don't press you. They hunt your footsteps. So what he talking about is garbage and nonsense.
Y'all understand? I'm not making this up. Y'all can look for the interview where Lil Wayne says this, and Officer Matabar is from that area. Officer Matabar just told y'all the police ain't never changed from the time that we got off the boat. They weren't called police back then. They were just called overseers, slave catchers. And they had that same badge and same authority and were committing the same atrocities they're committing today. It ain't never changed. Shalom says Yahweh Tabashim Yahweh. You understand? It's never going to change. And it's crazy for you to think that you're going to call the same people who have the role of making sure that you remain on the plantation, you don't run away. It's crazy for you to think that you could trust these people, or you could trust this empire, which we're going to get into, when whether it's from the top of Canada to the bottom tip of South America, this empire was built off of our blood, sweat, and tears. This empire is only thriving because we're oppressed. How can you trust in the people that are oppressing you? How does that even make any remote sense? Because we suffer from mental illness. So like I think General Hyman brought it up. You understand? Let me get this real quick, and then we're going to move to the next one, right? I'm going to finish the clip real quick. We're going to do Deuteronomy chapter 28. Verse 28, this is part of the curses because we keep disobeying the Lord, which is the solution to stop disobeying the Lord and coming back to following the law, statutes, and the commandments of God. By doing that, this is the cure. This is the only thing that we have to do. to not trust white people, to not join hand in hand with Africans or Asians, to not mingle with heathens, to not eat pork like the Muslims. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness. This is part of the curses. We're smote with madness. And part of that madness is that mental illness where we reject reality. And this is more than just in Deuteronomy. It'll go, even further down in the book of Isaiah, where we'll go in a minute, where we rather hear, good things like, hey, listen, we could end racism. We could walk hand in hand with white people. We could be Christian and still be pro-black. We could be Muslim and still be pro-black. Good night. I could be a Buddhist and be pro-black. Good night. People are saying, well, we could be spiritual Israelites. I guess you could be a spiritual Chinese man and eat bat and rat. Right? Listen, you're insane. That's what you are. You suffer from mental illness. Yes, let me just refresh your mind with what is the concept of insanity, because I'm not making stuff up. This is researched, right? You need to understand what is the concept of insanity, right? One moment. Let me go there. The definition of the concept of insanity. And if you want to chime in real quick, out of one, feel free to do so, sir.
Kind of like you were saying, though. And the thing is, you could be all these different religions and claim you pro-black, but it's every other race inside that religion with you. So how you pro-black?
Good night.
How you gonna stand up for your people when the people around you are the ones destroying your people? It don't make no sense.
Damn right. So, like, this is insanity. What I say, insanity is the state of being seriously mentally ill, madness. What did Deuteronomy 20 and 28 said? We will be struck with madness. Extreme foolishness or irrationality. For you to think that you could integrate, which again is just a sugar-coated term for assimilation, with the people who are forcing you to abandon your culture and assimilate to theirs, is madness. For you to think as a prey, imagine the zebra saying, you know what, I'm gonna just go hang out with the lions, live, hooves in paws with them, right? Eat what the lions eat, act like how the lions act. No, I don't want to say the lions. The lions, the tribe of Judah. I want to say the hyenas. Imagine the zebra say, yeah, let me hang out with the hyenas. We could live in peace and harmony with the hyenas. Like in that stupid movie, Zootopia. You said the zebra is suffering. He's not normal. He's foolish. He's irrational. He's insane. That's you, Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you understand? That's your state right now. Cannot say the Bible's a fairy tale. It's describing your current state right now, right? For you to think that, it's out of the norm for them to hunt us like animals. It's not. It's how they are. Every single nation. The difference with the Caucasian race is that they are the apex predators. Besides that, you're being preyed on by all the other nations. Listen, when was it? I think it was it last year? A Chinese man shot a 9-year-old black boy on his own property. The 9-year-old didn't do nothing, if I'm not mistaken. He shot him. Most I in Christ that he didn't die, but he shot him. He shot a 9-year-old black boy outside. Wherever he shot him really don't matter at the end of the day. All these nations prey on you. The new prime minister of Trinidad, let me see if I can find a video, because this is insane. She said, grab your guns. She said, get ready. Let me see. I'm going to show you this clip. Y'all will not believe this. The way she's talking about it, though, is she's referring to one. If you know the state of Trinidad, she is referring to one specific people, and she's not referring to her people. When I say her people, you're going to understand once you see the clip who is the people she's referring to. Right? Let me play this clip.
Home invasion laws and legal firearms. And when the brutal rapists and criminals come into your home, I tell you again, load up your matic, light them up, empty the clip.
Y'all hear what she says? For those who don't know, that's not a sister. That is a coolie descent. The coolies is a term to refer to so-called Asians, like the Chinese, the Koreans, whatever the case is, or the East Indian indentured servants that came to the Caribbean island, which are mostly, when it comes to the East Indian, they're going to be mostly in Trinidad, Guyana, and Suriname. That's a coolie descent. When she's saying, grab your guns, load up your matic, empty the clip, light them up, who do you think she's referring to? She says the rapists, the criminals, the home invasions. Listen, her people are some of the big. Listen, do you know how many East Indian gangs there's in Canada? You know how many of the people control the drug trade in Trinidad are of East Indian descent? You think she's referring to them? She's referring to the Benjamites. She's referring to the indigenous people of Trinidad. She's not referring to the coolie people, who are the biggest criminals in Trinidad. She's saying, kill the niggas. That's what she's saying. Essentially, she's saying, grab your guns, load them up, and empty the clip. Light them up. That's what she's saying. You understand? All these nations are preying on you. And they're openly saying it. Donald Trump, his whole campaign was about deporting Mexicans, and Haiti being a shithole country, and Puerto Rico being a floated, garbage dump or some shit like that? Salak is something like that. Donald Trump is his behavior is not surprising. It's not even out of the norm. Her behavior, her statement is not something unusual. It is for us because we've been taught that, we're all humans and we're all the same and we're all equal. It's really not. Salak, so I see you unmuted yourself. You want to chime in?
No, so like I'm gonna say, the scriptures say they confederate against us.
I was gonna bring that out just now. Good night.
So like you got it.
It's a lot here. But let me get to it real quick right now, yeah. Let's go to Psalms chapter 83. Psalms chapter 83. Because if the so-called Bible and the Quran complement each other, where's that in the Quran where all these nations go against us? I wonder. Where's that in the book of Buddha, right? If we're all the same and God is just in different names in different religions, it's really not. God is not the name of the Most High in the Bible. You understand? We go there, Psalms chapter 83. You're going to understand that all these nations have conspired against us. They all do the same exact thing. It's not different from the Arabs to the East Indians to the Chinese. They're all predators. The only difference is that one of these predators is an apex predator. He's even preying on himself. It's that bad. Psalms 83:1. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. God has enemies. If God is the God of the whole planet Earth, God is the God of the human race, how can the Most High have enemies? They make a tumult. They start to make noise like they're about to riot. They're getting agitated. That's what it means. And let's see why they're getting agitated. Let's see why. Go on. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Wait a minute. If God is the God of everybody, why does God have haters? Why does he have enemies? And his enemies that are getting agitated, they're lifting up their head. What does it mean? They're challenging him. Two things. You either bow down in reverence or you lift up your head. You challenge the person. Well, God has enemies who are challenging him. Hey, if you're challenging God, most good night. Lord be with you. And he's not going to be with you. Psalm chapter 83 verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. You think it's just a coincidence Donald Trump asked the Africans to help in Haiti? Donald Trump don't give a damn about the state of Haiti. Donald Trump is about to do a horrible thing on the Haitian people. If you don't believe me, one of the last articles we're going to bring out is exactly going to explain that. Right? Donald Trump is about to do a horrible things on our Haitian brothers just now. He's conspiring with other heathens. Not that he gives a damn about Africa. Donald Trump don't give a damn about nobody but the white race. But all these nations conspiring against us with each other. Like even though what's his name? The second president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, said that the people over there in Israel today will not be able to live in peace in a land where they don't originate from. I'm slightly paraphrasing, because they are not the real Jews. He said the real Jews were black. They left. They came back white. He was making a metaphor to say that we are the real Jews and they're not. But not because he openly said that the Arab world is suddenly gonna, say, give the land back to the Israelites. They're not. Do you think they want to give up Palestine after Muhammad sent his caliphs to conquer the Byzantine Empire over there? They don't want to give that up. Do you think every single nation know who we are? They're not going to tell us you're the Israelites and this is how you get out of captivity. This is how you get out of poverty. This is how you stop getting murdered by the police. They're not going to say that, because they're only able to oppress us by us not knowing who we are and by us not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, by us rejecting the knowledge that is really life. Once we reject the knowledge, we reject life, what do we have left? Death. They're only able to keep us subservient under them if they make sure nobody blows the whistle. Well, y'all think Vladimir Putin gave a damn about y'all because he said, no, the real prophets are black? He didn't say they were not Africans, just so y'all keep that in mind, yeah? He don't give a damn. You just stir up more things in America just to go against America and to side with him, thinking, you know what, I'm the lesser evil. Putin don't give a damn about you. The point is, all these nations are conspiring against you together. Even if they don't get along with each other, it's irrelevant. They'd rather have you dead than above at least one of them. Because now that you rise above one, you can rise above another and another and another by doing the same thing that you're supposed to do, which is follow the law, statutes, and commandments. It's really that simple. What I say, Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 says that's really the only thing that matters for us to obey. Slaki, let me keep reading. Psalm chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Well, guess what? The 12 lost tribes of Israel are not lost anymore. You understand? Since 1969, the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under Commandant General YAHANNA, have been teaching you who you are, according to the scriptures, according to archaeological records, right? Name it. You think it's only the Bible that says we're Israelites? According to our archaeological artifacts as well, linguistics. It's not a conspiracy to say, you know what, we're the chosen people because everybody says it. No, we are the chosen people. According to archaeology, history, artifacts, according to these biblical records, which were proven to be absolutely true and not a fairy tale. If it's a fairy tale, you're going to tell me, because they like to say it's a fairy tale because people in the Bible didn't exist. Well, when you go in the book of Maccabees, Alexander the Greek is really Alexander the Great. Are you saying that he is a made-up character as well? Julius Caesar, the Roman emperors, are they fictitious characters? If they're fictitious characters, go tell the Muslims Abraham never existed, because the Bible is made up, right? This is the problem. It's only made up because they refuse for you to acknowledge that you are the true biblical Jews of antiquity and to go back to obeying the law, and the commandments of the Most High. Because if you do so, they're not going to be able to keep you enslaved. Let's keep reading. Psalms 83:4. They have said, "Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation." Why do you think you can't call yourself an Israelite? Why do you think wherever you go, they say you are not the real Jews. You are a nigger. You are an African. You are a Latino. You're a mixed. They call you all types of names except the chosen people. You understand? They call you all types of names. They call you criminals. They say you're from a shithole country. You can never be great. Listen, you created the doorknob. They're not even going to give you the benefit of having created the doorknob. You understand? Andre Stewart, I'm not sure what you try to say, but the proper salute is Shalom. If you're a man, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah. You understand? Shalom is really rainbow flag waving. You don't want to say that. Right? The point is, all these nations are conspiring against you, and they have the same agenda to not let you know you're an Israelite. Even if Gamal Abdel Nasser admitted that the real Jews are not these people over there in the land of Israel, in the state of Israel right now, you think he gave a damn about telling you that you're the real biblical Jews of antiquity? No. His problem is that they're fighting against his people. That's his problem. He don't give a damn about the truth. He just has beef with the Israelis. If they were not over there, he would have never said that. That's what you don't understand. So you unmuted yourself again. You want to chime in?
No, I was going to say Salakia too. And the problem is, our people won't be a part of all these nations. These nations don't want to be a part of you. They want to use you, steal your identity, use you to work and build up their kingdoms. They don't want to be a part of you, but our people won't be a part of them. When the Lord say we are a holy people, we are special people unto him. We're above every other nation. That's why they steal everything from us. Because they know that. They know we're the Lord's people. You guys know.
So this sodomite said derogatory language. Listen, if you want to wear fringes on a t-shirt, if you want to wear a dress, you want to say Shalom and parade in downtown during the rainbow flag parade in whatever city you're in, feel free to do so. Exit yourself peacefully. You know, we don't need to know that you wave the rainbow flag and say Shalom. Okay? The scripture says, "Thou be rude in speech, but not in knowledge." I know it is homosexual behavior to act the way you act. You understand? But that's it. Let's keep reading, right? Psalms chapter 83, verse 4 says again, "They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." I'm going to tell you, you're a so-called African. I'm going to tell you, you're not an African, but you're not, an Israelite. You're something. Just you're not that. You're not African. You're not Arab. You're not a Moor. They're going to call you Moor, and then they say you're not a Moor. They're going to tell you every single thing except you are the real biblical Jews of antiquity. You understand? The woman in the video said, "Well, watch out for the predators and the home invaders. Load up your matic." She calls you home invaders. Listen, who invaded our homes first? We were brought here. We didn't have a choice. You understand? Y'all invaded the home of the Native American Indians. And then y'all brought in more invaders on the pretense that, well, you don't have slaves no more, so you need workers. Y'all could have just, instead of paying us, y'all went to hire other heathens. Y'all just further proving that we are the real biblical Jews of antiquity. Y'all could have just freed us from slavery and paid us instead of hiring these disgusting East Indians and Chinese people as indentured servants. Why couldn't we be the paid ones? Y'all making it seem like it's a quantum physics equation. Like, you know what? It was too complicated. It would have been even cheaper because we already there. Y'all could have just started giving us, paying us for the labor. Y'all don't even have to enslave us. They could have just paid us for the labor the whole time. Instead, y'all had to enslave us. Then when y'all decided to abolish slavery, y'all still needed laborers. Y'all couldn't have slaves no more. But as opposed to giving us wages, y'all went to get other heathens so they could be above us. Y'all can make this up. Y'all can't make this up. This is literally what happened. Let's keep reading. Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They all on, listen, you see how we're one body? They're one body as well when it comes to destroying us. They have that one mindset. It doesn't matter. You see how for Caucasian people, they rather see you suffer, even if they're suffering. Listen, they rather see each other suffer and destroy themselves if it means making sure that you are destroyed and under them. They will make sure that you are destroyed and under them, even if it costs hurting their economy, if it costs hurting their livelihood. It doesn't matter. These disgusting niggas and spick and savages could never be at our level ever. You understand? Same with the East Indians, same with the Asians. Shit, listen, they didn't even let the Asians open Asian restaurants in the white neighborhood. They said, no, but we'll let you open them in the black neighborhood. And China Mac in New York said, I was not, China Mac, some disgusting Asian culture vulture in New York said, I was not allowed to sell drugs in the Asian neighborhood. I had to go to the blacks and Latinos to sell my drugs. It was forbidden to me to do so. You understand? Salaki, sir.
Salaki too. And that one consent, when they consulted together with one consent, that one consent was to keep us oppressed.
Damn right.
Keep destroying us. To keep pumping drugs in our neighborhood. To always be against us. They all on the same page together to keep us down. You got
damn right. And it brings back to the point on how, you know, as opposed to, even though we're slaves, just for argument's sake, after being freed from slavery, they could have just paid us. Instead, they had to go get the Chinese. They had to get the Koreans. They had to get the Pakistanis, the East Indians as indentured servants to bring them to the Caribbean islands, as opposed to paying us. It was really that simple, you know. But they have consulted together. Again, Psalm chapter 83, verse 5. They have consulted together with one consent. They're all in the same mindset. Well, we're going to destroy them. They are confederate against thee. You understand? They all gathered together under the same banner of, let's make sure these niggas stay oppressed. Let's make sure they're never able to strive. Even when we are, for instance, Black Wall Street, they bombed us to the ground. They bombed us to the Stone Age in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It doesn't matter if it meant, you know, dropping bombs on their own, in their own household, destroying the whole house. They will burn down America if it means to make sure that you are oppressed, you remain oppressed. They did it already. Tulsa, Oklahoma. You think they won't do it again? You think they're afraid? You think they give a damn? The white man always says, listen, I will unalive my wife, my children, my dog, my cat, burn down the house, and then I will unalive myself. He's going all out. He's not playing. And we could say this as a joke, but he really have that mindset. Just like the police officer who played in the clip, they all have that mindset of, you know what, we're first responders. Guess what? We're here to fight. The lion is not going to go just look at the zebras. His goal is his one goal. I'm here to hunt. I'm here to kill. I'm here to eat and drink the blood. It's not, you know, it's not a quantum physics equation. It's not rocket science. You understand? UPK Youngin on Bigo said, if killing themselves meant men destroying us, they'll do it. Absolutely. They're you know.
And
listen, UPK, come with us.
They ain't expected to backfire because now all these other coaches want to be like us.
Good, nice. See, that's something they did not expect. Like when they tried to exploit us, they did not expect hip hop to be the most popular music genre. Now everybody wants to be a rapper. They push that narrative. They're like, damn, listen, we push that narrative where it has an image where they make it cool to live from the street. Now they have good night. Listen, they have the mafia wearing grills. You see gangsters in Italy, they have no American influence whatsoever. They all wear gold teeth. That's no white culture. Good night. Listen, what's the UFC fighter name? I think is something O'Malley. This man is rocking braids all the time. I think he's Irish or Scottish or something. Since when? And then they appropriate the culture about it comes from the Vikings. Come on. I'm not even going to go there. But you see, the point is just like Officer Matabar said, they did not expect to backfire. Everybody wants to be like us. To the point where when we bleach trying to be like them, they go to the tanning salon like this woman from Switzerland or whatever. She's dark as hell because she's trying to be black. They did not expect that. But if it means destroying us, like the young man said, Ambigo, if it means destroying themselves to make sure we're destroyed, best believe they're pressing the nuke. They're releasing all the nukes. And that's biblical. Let me get that real quick, and then we'll read a bit of the other article, right? Because we're short on time. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra 13. 2nd Ezra 13, and yeah, let me go to 2nd Ezra 13 and 31. Because this is prophecy. This is bound to happen. You will see that they will rather blow up the whole planet Earth if it means making sure you're destroyed. 2nd Ezra 13 and 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another city, one city against another. That's what's bound to happen. All those wars and rumors of wars, India is about to go head to head with Pakistan, even though they're the same people. You understand? Africa is kicking out all the white people. They're going to war. Even though some of them are choosing Russia, they're opposing the French, the British, the Dutch, all their previous slave masters. Everybody's rejecting America. Trump is having beef with everybody. But World War III is about to happen. And we're witnessing every single aspect. If you pay attention to the news, as opposed to 100 men versus a gorilla, you understand what's about to happen. It's not going to be pretty for a lot of people, but it's going to be glorious for another. It's a lot, yeah. One place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. If you think, a realm is different, is something magical, right? The underworld, the underrealm, the world, it's just a society against another, a kingdom against another. If you go by, y'all want to talk about, well, we all speak English today and it's the language of a slave master. Listen, if you're going to go by the definition of a slave master, that's why you're going to go by the understanding of the slave master. And the slave master is an idiot. You're going to go by the understanding of an idiot. Hey, Lord be with you. Call a spade and an idiot. That's it. Verse 32. Kawakan says, Salakia.
You're off topic. It don't take 100 men to go against a gorilla. All it takes is a peg.
Good night. All it takes is fringes on a shirt. Good night. So, hey, yo. Let me keep reading. Salakia. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, meaning these things will happen. And the sign shall happen which I shewed before thee, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. Who is it talking about? You don't need, I would say, if you have basic common sense, you would understand who's the son that will be declared that was seen as a man ascending meaning to go up. It's talking about Christ. These signs shall happen, and you will see, listen, you will see something glorious. If you think it's crazy, go ahead, because just like you believe in all sorts of conspiracies besides the earth being flat or reptilians or I don't know. People believe that, listen, Muslims believe they'll go in a magical place in the sky called heaven where they have 72 virgins, both boys and girls. And it's normal to them. You can't tell them they're crazy. So we're crazy to think that Christ is coming back down from the sky, but you believe that you will go up in the sky with virgin kids? And we're the crazy ones? Hey, listen, East Indians or Asians, Chinese, the Buddhists, they believe they can get reincarnated as an animal when they die and they come back to life. We know reincarnation is real. You come back as a human from the same tribe. They believe you come back as a frog. You come back as an ant if you did bad stuff. You have bad karma. That's what they call it. And we're the crazy one for thinking Christ is going to crack the sky open in the midst of World War III to judge the heathens. I guess being crazy is subjective. But let's keep reading. Verse 33, 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. Listen, all these heathens are going to fight against each other. The Asians, listen, Kim Jong-un is about to spray the whole world with whatever artillery they have in North Korea. You understand? But in this time, as it shall come to pass, this will happen. In the midst of the fight, in the midst of the royal rumble, Christ is coming back. And they will stop the fight they have one against another. They will stop. They will come. When we read in Psalms 83, they will come under one consent. They'll be confederate against our king. That's what's happening right now. That's prophecy. Verse 34. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 34. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together. Innumerable is that you can't number them. It's too many people. Right? And an innumerable multitude. Already a multitude is a lot of people. Imagine an innumerable multitude. You can't number what's already innumerable. Shall be gathered together, and thou sawest them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. They said, we're going to gather together under one consent. We're going to fight against Christ. That's what they said. We're going to fight against Christ. Verse 35, but he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion. It's like, I think it stopped right there. The point is, you know, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to go to the next article. The point is, when it comes to making sure you're oppressed, when it comes to making sure, you know, you're conquered, you're defeated, they're willing to stop World War III. They're willing to say, listen, we're going to put our beef aside and we're going to make sure these Israelites are dead. We're going to make sure their king is vanquished. That's what that's what we just read. They're going to stop fighting against one another to fight against Christ. That's really what's going to happen. They're going to launch all the Scud missiles, all the Black Hawks, all the what they call it again? Listen, all the nuclear artillery they're going to launch at him with the intent to erase him from the face of the earth. It doesn't matter if they blow up the earth with it. It's by all means necessary. That's the term. By all, they're going to make sure you're oppressed by all means necessary. You understand? Let's go real quick to these last two articles, right? And of course, we're going to bring that precept because that's the title of the class. Let me just share my screen. Shalom halak, yabashin shabakata. This is from Capital B News. This is ongoing right now. This is really a popular topic. It says track meet turns tragic. Texas teen charged as adult under controversial law. Listen, it's that's you see, the problem is if it was a devil, if it was someone of their own complexion, he would not have been charged as an adult. They know in Texas they have the stand your ground law, which allow someone to defend themselves, you know, not having to retreat, not having to have their person retreat. But here's the thing that you're going to understand, where they're praying for your downfall in all aspects of the matter. It says, what began as a dispute over a seat at a Texas high school track meet ended in tragedy when one 17-year-old student allegedly pulled a knife and fatally stabbed another, all at a school neither teen attended. So here's the thing, right? Long story short, they're saying the brother Carmelo Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed the white boy because he was under a tent where he didn't belong because that wasn't his school tent. According to this article, which is still propaganda against the brother, I'm going to explain why. Neither of the twins, because the white boy was with his twin, or the brother was, the tent was for neither of their schools. The propaganda is they were telling him to get out of the tent because that wasn't his school, but that wasn't their school either, apparently, according to the article. Now, why I said the propaganda against the brother? Because let's see what the word propaganda means. Propaganda, which really against our people, is information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. The brother did not have a knife. They were at a track meet. What he had is a cleat sharpener. Cleats are like the spikes on the shoes if you play football, American football, so on and so forth. Right? He had a cleat sharpener. He didn't have a knife. And what they're omitting to mention in this article, because we're not going to go through the whole thing for time's sake, is that he was being assaulted, literally. Allegedly, it was not the first time that he was being bullied by these two twins, but he was being assaulted. How do you know? How can you be determined that it was assault? Because they physically try to remove him by putting their hands on him. That's assault. And apparently, sometime in different states, you could correct me if I'm wrong, off some other bar, you can't even flip someone with your middle finger. That's considered assault in some places. You know?
I don't know. I don't think that's the law out here, but I know what you're saying. The whole thing, like you're saying, they want to taunt us and be on us and down us and then touch us and beat on us, and then they don't expect you to do nothing. They want you to be a good old nigga and just take it. And we've been taking this for decades. We've been getting punished, beat on, spit on, everything, water hosed on, dog sicked on us. And y'all just expect us to just sit there and just take it.
And this is the thing. Kawakan, Salak. No, Kawakan, I don't want to cut you off, but this is the thing. This is pure propaganda. Because now they're going to portray the narrative of, he's a criminal that had a weapon. This is how black people are. This is how they've always been. Not showing that really they're playing, they're doing what they're accusing us of doing all the time, which is living with the victim mentality. That's true victim mentality, because they assaulted the brother. He only defended himself according to the law. Right? They have a standard. I don't know about Louisiana. In Texas, they have a stand your ground law. The brother was in his right of defending himself, especially when he's about to get jumped, because there were two twins. You understand? They physically try to remove him from the premises, so they technically physically assaulted him. All he did was defend his person. He don't know. Listen, you could die from a punch to the face. Imagine getting jumped. He don't know what's gonna happen, especially in a racist state like Texas. What was he supposed to do? But like Mr. Madabar said, they really just want you to just, be a complacent slave and not do nothing. Gonna put our hands on you and remove you from the premises. Don't even open your mouth. Don't even raise your head. Keep your head down and move the hell out of there. That's what they thought it was gonna happen. He said, "Put your hands on me one more time, see what happens." What do you think this is? This is not 1492 no more. But we think, you know what? The twins, in our mindset, is like the twins never had the right to do so. I'm not saying they did, but understand how a predator operates. Imagine the prey telling the predator, "Well, don't chase me today. You see what happens." Right. You think the predator gives a damn? The predator is in his mindset. He's a predator. He's supposed to hunt you. He hunts you. you don't turn around and defend yourself. That's not how the course of nature works.
Right.
Salaki, go ahead, sir. Salaki.
I say, right. You think when he defended himself, you think the police took him out for hamburgers like they did Dylan Roof?
Damn right.
You think they asked him, "Oh, you want a hamburger?" No, because the oppressor is against you. Whatever you do, they're against you. But when it's one of their people, what they do, they make excuses. Oh, he was a good student. He was a college student. He was great in school. He was this and that. But he's still your goddamn oppressor. He still feel the anger and hate of his people, that hatred towards us. But they'll make an excuse, find an excuse to justify them. They're not going to justify you. They're going to justify the oppressor. Even if the oppressor a victim of you doing what you got to do to defend yourself, they still going to find a way to justify the oppressor.
Good night, everyone. I remember I was going to bring that up because the article when Donald Trump, which a lot of y'all ignorant brothers and sisters voted for, had a whole campaign of propaganda against the Central Park Five, accused of sexually assaulted a white woman in Central Park. I think half of the team never seen the white woman. None of them ever touched her. They had a whole campaign against them. Nothing but propaganda. We'll label super predators. How are we labeled super predators when the reason why these people are even over here is because they committed a whole genocide on what is considered 3 different continents in an archipelago of islands? And we're the super predators? They call the Mexicans rapists. What about Christopher Columbus and them? They were prostituting 9-year-olds. I'm not even going to talk about all the atrocity they did to us. But who's the real criminal? Who's the real super predator? You understand?
For our people, the super predator, they the super duper predators.
Good night.
They destroy every land that they go in. Rape and rob and steal and destroy.
So they're the god of predators. Good night. Let me go to this last article so you could understand exactly, so we could bring these last precepts out for time's sake. Yeah. This from LA Times. Trump administration. Salaki, am I sharing the screen? There you go. Trump administration tells Congress it plans to label Haitian gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. Now, for time's sake, I'm going to just give you a short breakdown. If you have no knowledge of how America treats terrorists, here's a breakdown. They want to eradicate the Haitian people. That's it. Do you know what's the protocol with terrorists? We don't negotiate. You understand? That's the protocol. It's not if, it's not surrender. We do not negotiate. He's labeling Mexicans terrorists. He's the cartels terrorists. Thing is that I think it's, again, Texas. If I'm not mistaken, in Texas or one of these southern states, the Aryan Brotherhood, the numbers of members of Aryan Brotherhood have surpassed the MS-13s, yet they're not labeled as terrorists. What is Trump doing against the Aryan Brotherhood? Ask yourself that. Next time you go vote. Next time you try to find that good white person that might make a change. You understand? Right. You cannot stop trying to convince yourself, right? It doesn't matter what you do. They're never going to change. Trump said, you know what? He found the perfect solution to get rid of the Haitian problem. If we label them foreign terrorists, you know what they did in Afghanistan, right? They went to war for 20 years, even though they lost. They went to war. Let them declare war with Haiti. It's not a matter of about should we go provide aid or not. No, we're just going to invade the island and just start, cleansing the island. That's really what it is. It's not even speculations. If you know how America treats terrorists, if any of them, and I say if any, gets caught alive, whatever happens to them in Guantanamo, I mean, Lord, good night. And if not, well, we know what happens when they don't, when they don't get captured alive. If they don't get captured alive, self-explanatory. I shouldn't have to explain it. Salaki, sir.
Salaki. Not one time have they said, let's eradicate white racism. Let's eradicate the Ku Klux Klan. None of that. They never go against their own people. They ain't never come out and say, let's get rid of white racism. You ain't hear that yet. Let's get rid of white racism. You're not gonna hear that, but it's always something against our people. They never say let's get rid of no other nations. The Chinese, Japanese, East Indians, none of that. It's always something against us.
If I'm not mistaken, Trump's family is involved with the Klan. Salaki, sir. That is why they can't go against their own people, right? What does it say? The scripture says, I think it's Ecclesiasticus. I'm slightly, let me not slightly paraphrase. Let me just go there real quick for time's sake, right? I'm show you why he's not going against the Aryan Brotherhood. He's not going against the Klan. He's not going against whatever right-wing rally they might have, right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. This is why he's getting ready to label the Haitians a terrorist group and go to war with them and cleanse the island. He's not doing that with white supremacy, because every beast loveth his like. Those white supremacists are of the same hyena clan that he is in. He's just in a different zone. That's it. He's in a different, every man loveth his neighbor. The only people who don't do what this precept says is so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians who love the predator that is preying on them. The Palestinians have no love for the Israelis. There's nothing with them being white. It's about them being the one who's bombing the Palestinians. You understand? Kim Jong-un has problems with America, not because they're white, because they're trying to erase the North Korean identity and turn it into South Korea, where it is nothing but American influence. The Aborigines of Australia is the same. You think they have an issue with England and the white Australians, descendant of the British, because they're white? No, because they slaughtered them. White people have a true victim mentality where they say, well, you don't like me because I'm white. Nobody ever had an issue with you because you're white with blonde hair and blue eyes. You kill everybody on the earth. You kill the trees, you kill the whales. You go in Africa, the lions are hunting you. They're probably recognizing you at this point, not because you're white, because they know that your granddad slaughtered the whole pride. Now they're a species that's about to be extinct. There's no black rhinos because of Caucasian people. You erased everything. The mosquitoes, Lord allowed as a plague when mosquitoes only target you leucistic people. You understand? Because listen, you are the virus on the earth. You are a uncurable cancer. It has nothing to do with your blonde hair or blue eyes. You could have been green, bald, with three noses. People would have hated the green, bald man with three noses because of your actions. You understand? The point is, he's not going to go against the white supremacist because that's his own people. Those are the people of his like. Those are his neighbor. You understand? But if you know the history on how they treat terrorists, it doesn't matter if you want to walk hand in hand with them. Let's see what the Bible says about that. So, Laki, I'm being a bit too long with it. Let me end it real quick for time's sake. Yeah. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21 says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. God doesn't give a damn about what you think. He doesn't give a damn if you're a Trump supporter, if he saved America, if he made America great again, Most High in Christ. Who was America great for ever in the first place? The Bible says this, though hand join in hand. If you want to marry white girls, if you want to have little black boys, hand with little white girls and little white boys with little black girls, Bible says the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Who's this wicked? Listen, this wicked is our oppressors, these goddamn heathens. If you want to even know that it's not talking about evil black people, right? I'm trying to go real quick for time's sake. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. Yeah. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's in power right now on the face of the earth? Listen, stop making it seem like it's a black or white rhetoric. We have the same energy when it comes to Asians, the Arabs, and Africans. It's just these predators have a predator. And both these predators and their predators are our predator. Right? The earth who was given into the hand of the wicked that's in power right now is the Caucasian race. You understand? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If it's not white people, when did Arab ever paint the prophets Arabic? You know, when did they make him quote unquote Middle Eastern, like people like to say, which is stupid? When the Asians had us in captivity, did they ever made Isaiah an Asian man? Did they portray Moses as Genghis Khan? Who did that? Who portrayed the 12 disciples as themselves? You understand? Who did that? The goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. That's who did that. Let me get these last two precepts and then we're going to end it. Yeah? Slackers, you want to chime in real quick?
I was saying, right, like who made the greatest king oppressor?
Damn right.
Like who turned him into a goddamn surfboard and oppressor? With stringy hair, with goddamn Taiwan.
Damn right. That's why it's important. Why knowing that Christ is a black man is so important? This is why. You can identify who the wicked is. The wicked who made the most important man on the face of the earth. That judge who turned him into a little white boy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Right? Who made that? There's no Chinese Jesus. There's no East Indian Jesus. You understand? But let me go there real quick. Let me go these last precepts. And then we're going to end it. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9. For time's sake, you can start at verse 1 if y'all like to see that really y'all problems that y'all really don't follow the Most High. You better fall into your oppressor. And this is why you hate what's being brought out in these classes. You hate the truth that really hurts your soul. That, you know what, you believe you might overcome racism and being in a utopia where we are going to be living in a melting pot. It is never going to happen. The ingredients do not mix together well. It's disgusting. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9, that this is a rebellious people. Who is that rebellious people? You are, because you refuse to hear reason. You refuse goddamn common sense. You're the rebellious people who turn your back against the Most High every time he saves you. Who do the opposite of what would fix your issues. You understand? You're told to not play with fire. You do the opposite. You rebel against the people who told you to not play with fire. You play with fire, you burn yourself, and then you cry about it. You're the rebellious people. The lying children that would not hear the law of the Lord. The only people that is able to hear the law of the Lord is the people that were given the law of the Lord. Not everybody on the face of the earth. The people who refuse to hear it, it's not because they were not given the law. They just plug their ears. They don't want to know nothing about it. You're that people. You're that rebellious people, that those lying children who refuse to listen. God is not talking to everybody. He's only talking to the children of Israel. You understand? Let's read verse 10. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 10. Why do they refuse it? Because you're not supposed to mix with other nations. We're going to see why. You're not supposed to mix with other nations. You're not supposed to eat pork. You're not supposed to sleep with white women. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 10. Which say to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. You said, we don't want to hear that nonsense about, interracial marriage is a sin and the white man's the devil and Christ will deliver us because we're his people. We don't want to hear that. Salakia. Speak unto us smooth things. They rather hear, let's overcome racism hand in hand, one white woman at a time, one Chinese woman at a time. Let's walk hand in hand with the stinking East Indians that are labeling us home invaders and so on and so forth. The what's the name? Congressman and minister in Trinidad says, load up the Matic and light them up. She's on live TV said, damn, you're killed the niggas. And you don't want to hear that. You want to hear, well, listen, we might be able, we're a melting pot in the Caribbean. In Jamaica, they said, what did they say in Jamaica again? Out of many, one people. That's Christianity. That's the smooth things you like to hear. Ask the Chinese man who's oppressing Jamaicans if he's saying out of many, one people. Ask the white man in Jamaica who's not allowing you on your own beaches if it's out of many, one people. You don't want to hear these things. It said, prophesy not unto us right things. You don't want to hear that you should not, love the people outside your race. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear God loves everybody, thinking that everybody is the whole planet Earth. And that's not what it means. You don't want to hear that the church is the house of Satan. It's the house of lies. That the white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. You don't want to hear that. Speak unto us smooth things. You want to hear, well, there might be one white person, that it's not as bad as the others. You want to be like Lil Wayne, say, I don't believe in racism because Uncle Bob saved me when I shot myself in the heart by accident. That's what you want to be like. You want to be like Lil Wayne, who's one of the worst examples for our people to be like. And I'm not bashing the brother like in a sense where you could tell he's a destroyed brother. Look at the state that he's in. And I grew up listening to Wayne. I'm not a hater. I grew up listening to Wayne. Listen, the Hot Boys, right? Carter 1 to 3. You understand? The drought, 500 degrees and them things. But as an individual, you could tell how destroyed he is.
And Slocky, you listen to him more than me because I ain't even listen to the shit up from out here. But
the point is,
like this a perfect scripture for your Christian churches and all these fake religions. They want to hear smooth things. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to be deceived. And this is what's going on today. In time you got a nigga talking about lock the doors. Lock the doors. In time you got a pastor come out who's sucking on purple dildos and everything.
And putting fringes on a t-shirt and saying shalom.
Right. And getting plugged in the ass. Like, come on. This is the perfect scripture that fit there. Because this is what our people love to hear instead of hearing the truth. And this was written before time to tell you to look out for these things.
Damn right. And Salakia, when they should have shut the doors of the church when Dylan Roof was coming in knocking at the door. Maybe they would still be alive. Salakia.
I said that a few classes ago. Like shit, they should have said, lock the door, not let him in there.
Damn right.
And then when he telling them to lock the door, you ain't know if you had a Dylan Roof in that church. Talking about lock the door. You putting everybody's life in danger over money. Over your greed, your lust. You got it.
Kawakai. Let's finish this verse real quick, right? Prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. That's what you want to hear. The law is done away with. Let's integrate with these people. Let's end racism by marrying every white woman, Chinese woman, our sisters, giving our sisters away to the East Indians. That's what you want to hear. You You don't want to hear. You don't even want to hear common sense. That's the crazy part. You tell you leave the church, you don't want to hear that. You want to say go to church every Sunday, take a bath, because that's really what water baptism is. I baptize myself every day because I'm a clean person. You understand? You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear come to class, shut your mouth, change yourself. You don't want to do that. That's what you don't want to hear. You want to hear deceit. When you hear something deceitful, something that'll indulge you to do the wrong things. And then you won't be held accountable. You think you won't be held accountable. That's what you would like to hear, that, you know what, you're not held accountable. It's not your fault. You were lied to. The thing is that you rather be lied to as opposed to be told the harsh truth. You want a sweet lie than the harsh truth. That's really what it is. Well, guess what? The truth hurts. Tough up. You understand? Let's get this last precept and then we're going to end the class, right? This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17, which is the whole topic of the class. The next verse, Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. Listen, why are your eyes failing? Why can't you keep your eyes open? You're going to understand why your eyes are getting tired beyond the point of you having your eyes watery, beyond the point of not being able to stay awake. You understand how your eye sockets damn near dry out before your eyelids crumble on themselves. Lamentations 4 and 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we've watched for a nation that cannot save us. You're going to keep, listen, a lot of Black, Latino, and Native just voted for the Liberal Party, which is the equivalent of the Democrats in Canada. For what? To still get murdered by the police and not get justice for the Hispanic brother that died the week of Passover? For not getting the land back? For still begging for clean water on the rest? This is what you voted for? For still having the Jamaicans being the #1 people deported in Canada? When the East Indians and the Chinese are the biggest illegal immigrants? This is what you voted for? To end systemic racism? Well, how does that make sense? Systemic racism is the backbone of Canada and America. It's not going nowhere. Racism will never end. Y'all need to watch the class I did about 2 weeks ago. Racism is not going anywhere. It's not. Whether you like it or not, it's irrelevant. God is the most high racist of the face of the earth in the galaxy. How about that? You understand? It's not going anywhere. Every nation is racist, whether they do it the right way or the wrong way is irrelevant. Every nation is racist. It's not going anywhere. Stop trying to live in a utopia where we're going to be in the melting pot. We're going all mixed together like the perfect soup. It's not. All these ingredients are disgusting. You understand? So, let's keep reading. That's why your eyes are failing, because you're going to keep watching and waiting for something that is never going to happen. That's why. Verse 18. They hunt our steps. What do you say? They hunt our steps. These people are preying on you like the lion, like these predators in the savannah. Y'all look at National Geographic. Let me see if I could pull a quick clip. Y'all really don't understand how these people hunt us. It doesn't matter if it's like the wolves, if it's like, let me see.
It's the police that circle your neighborhood every goddamn day.
Exactly right. This is how they do it. See if I could pull a quick. This is a perfect clip. Let me see if I could zoom in a bit. This is the police. Right? I'm kind of vexed. It's a lion, but the point is, it's a predator hunting a prey. You see this? He's stalking his prey. This is your predator. This is Dylan Roof. This is Peyton Gendron in Buffalo, New York. This is the police in your neighborhood. Walking through the tall grass, walking through your blocks, scoping black and brown neighborhood. You understand? This is how they hunt you. They stalk you in the tall grass. You are a prey. to them. Let's go back to it. Lamentation chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Listen, that brother was having a crisis. He could not even go outside. They called for help, and he ended up with the Most High. Salaki. Lord, be with the family. May he rise again. Lord, allow not one more tragedy like that happens. And unfortunately, it's sad to say that a lot of more tragedies like that are going to happen because we still don't understand that, we should get back to the Most High. We refuse. We don't want to hear common sense. We don't want to hear the right things. We just want to hear, you know what? We want to hear go parade in June during the Rainbow Flag Parade when you should not. You should not trust your enemy. You should not gather with a people that is not yours. You should come to class, change yourself, and help wake up your people. That's what you should do. You should understand at least the right things to do. You want to be on the sidelines. You think I'm gonna hold you accountable for being on the sideline. Listen, at least it's like you're separating yourself from the oppressor. If you not want to be a battlefield, no sweat. But don't be a casualty because you refuse to see who your enemy is. Even Switzerland is not neutral, really. No one can be neutral. It's either hot or cold. There's no such thing as lukewarm. There's no mixing. It's either left or right or wrong, righteous or wicked, Israelite or heathen. You understand? You don't have a choice, really. God said, no man can serve two masters. You have to pick a side. It's either going to be with the prey and be like the buffalo, the black buffalo, they call it the Black Death. You see what happens when a lion start to attack like a herd of buffalo? They gather together. They form a circle around the weak and around the young to protect them. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to be the individual like buffalo who decides to either try to blend in with the lions or to say, you know what, I'm going to save myself? What are you going to do? Because regardless, Lamentations 4:18 says what? They hunt our steps. They prey on you regardless. That's a matter of, are you going to be the prey that runs and that gets caught up and still get eaten? Or are you the one that's going to turn his back and face his predator with his horns and defend your people like you would defend yourself? Love thy neighbor as thyself. You understand? Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Listen, it's not going to be too long, just a little more time we have to endure this goddamn hell before we're scooped up in the chariots and Christ comes back. And like we read, he's gonna do a number on these nations. And a little more, because this is the last time. We're not going to be in captivity anymore ever again. We need to be able to endure until the end. It's not an easy thing. It is not for the weak. This is why brotherhood is a weapon, and iron sharpen iron. That's brotherhood right here. You know, if you're not strong enough, come to class, put in all black, change your life. I.S.U.P.K turns young niggas into young men. You understand? And be able to fight for your people. Don't be this little prey running away, running out of gas, and then you get caught up by the predator and get torn to pieces. Be the bull that they cannot take down. Be the bull that they're afraid of approaching. Be the bull that no predator is ever going to try to hunt. Because he's too big, because it's too rough. Because they're not going to, be willing to risk not ever being able to hunt ever again after having an encounter with you. You understand? With that said, we're going to end the class right here. Officer Matabar, Any one last thing you might want to say before we end the class, sir? Officer Matabar, can you hear me? You're still on mute, sir. Not sure, Officer Matabar, can you hear us? We're going to end the class right here. Y'all tune into John Mahaiman's Scripture Breakdown class live right now on One West Online Classes. You understand? This was the Brotherhood class taught by myself, Officer 500 Barak Yalla, with the I.S.U.P.K, which stands for the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant John YAHANNA. Right, we're going to get the security announcements and the class right here. And we're going to start back our history class briefly this Sunday or next Sunday, Lord allow, this Sunday. All right, with that, Israel, Shalom. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant John YAHANNA. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, and 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. We have the Feast of First Fruits coming up, which starts 50 days after the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which will be Sunday, June 8th, 2025, before sundown. You can read more about it in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 to 22. Reminder to all Akim and Aquatic to check the bulletin board in the hallway of the school that has a physical location. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. But that's what will give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Menavirj al-Amajim, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Menavirj al-Amajim Shabbat. Imajim, Rock, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. In Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. So like in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, which means to turn. Turn and face the sisters. If you have any in your presence, we'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Menavirj al-Amajim Shabbat. Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Alatam, meaning Yahweh watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata class dismissed.
All right.
Hey, water again, sir.
Yeah, you're on the board.
Check me out, dog. Roll the window up, man. The water. Ain't no better, dog, brother. The son of a king. I don't Balenciaga. I might just wear Kyla. I might just wear the Pradas. But I'm thinking long term, so I might say the dollars. We ain't no better. I'm just being honest. I should've went to college, but I was thinking violence. It's a one West world. We the fucking livest. Break it down, we break ground. We don't break no damn promise. Let's get active, dog. Don't tell me how you feel about it. These cats saying too much. They ain't learn enough. You maxed out the first quarter. I'm still warming up. These niggas tossing up a brick. They can't score with us. Who gon' come against us? On the Lord with us. Them niggas riding for you. Hope they ride till they crash. Put my name in your mouth. I put my belt to your ass. I ain't running no race. I just hope that I last. All them niggas you look up to, I consider them trash. Only time you seen a leader was in Wayne hand. Niggas will dap you, then pop you with the same hand. I'm a main player. I stick to the game plan. He don't really fuck with you. That's your main man. We them niggas came through and made your city hot. Yup, said he in the field, but he really not. And I ain't casting no stone, I just let him rock. And that's the kind of story they gon' read about. But if it's war, it ain't no tapping out. Grip still heat, spit like a dragon mouth.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the thing.